Okay then, guys, girls, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. We are live on the Wednesday overview, going everything to do with the financial markets, everything to do with your mindset, how you place trades. But more importantly, tonight, we are going to go over exactly how you could have maximized this gold trade that we sent out into the community, which caught over 310 pips. Today has been an absolutely insane day. So if you're watching this live, you're watching this back, let me know in the chat your name, where you're from, what you're doing, where you live. Tonight is going to be a fantastic night. So again, in the chat, if you can just let me know who you are and where you're from. I've got it in front of me live here. I can see the numbers coming in. I can see the likes coming through. I can see the engagement. So I appreciate every single one of you jumping into here and showing me some love on a Wednesday night. More importantly, before we go any further, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Bradley Marchant. I've been involved in the financial markets now for well over 7 or 8 years, since 2017. I was able to quit my job, do this full time. But before we dive in, I'm not a financial advisor. All trades taken at your own risk. Past profits do not guarantee future results. And everything that I talk about is from personal experience and from educational purposes. But I can see the chat filling up. And again, more importantly, before we dive into this, if you can, share this with a friend, share this with a loved one, share this into your groups. Anyone that you know will get benefit from this tonight, because what I'm going to be covering is the gold trade. I'm going to be covering a little bit about the mindset, the psychology, the event that we've got coming up on Saturday. But I'm also going to break down on the charts exactly how you could have got the best possible move from this gold trade. And I'm not talking an 80 or a 90 or 100 pip stop loss. I'm talking how you could have got that to a 15 to 20 pip stop loss at a max. So I'm going to talk about support, resistance, structure, how it all works. So I can see you guys in the chat and we are good to go. But for those of you who can hear and see me okay, let me know if the sound is all right. Let me know. Seems a bit crackly, some people are saying. 2 seconds. Let me just check that. 1 second. How crackly are we going? Like scale of 1 to 10. Let me listen to myself back, because this needs to be fixed. 2 secondos. I would rather this be right before we go live, you know. Let me just mute myself. Okay, so I can hear myself back on here. Let me just listen to this. I don't know how delayed this is. So while this is going on, so I can hear myself back on here. Let me just listen to this. I don't know how delayed this is. So okay, I can hear it. It's when you're too close. It's when I'm too close like this. Okay. Anyway, we're going to dive into it. The mic, how it's set up right now, it should be good. It might just because I got a little bit excited. It might just because I got a little bit into it. It's because I was gripping the mic. But again, sound check, sound check. Let me know in the chat if it's okay. It might just be because I was moving it around a little bit. I got a bit excited. My bad, chat. But here, this is the proof of it being live, right? Sounds fine. Perfect. Some of you are just critiquing me. Some of you are just, you know, busting my balls a little bit, which is perfectly fine. So what I want to do before we dive in, there's 40 of you here now. I'm just going to delete all this off of here, turn my notifications on to do not disturb, because I know what some of you are like. And what I want to do now is I want, out of the 40 of you that are watching this, number one, only 10% of you have liked this. So I want you to click the like below. I want you to go subscribe. And I want you to show some love. That's the first thing that I want you to do. Second of all, I want you to let me know exactly who caught these trades these last few days. Who's been banking some pips? Who's been making some money? Who's been growing their account? I want to know exactly who's been making profit when it comes to these trades, because these last few days, they've been pretty sick. Like today, I think there was a move that did 330 pips. We caught another 120 pips. We caught another 20 pip trade. We've started doing the London session trades. And this is where I get a bit excited about this. And, you know, I might have to get a little bit close to the chat. You may have to put up with the crackle, but it is what it is. What we've looked at is the statistics off of what we've put out from the London trades. We sent out around into like a bit of a demo chat. So we basically sent out some things to test if it was worthwhile putting out the London session. So what we've been seeing is on a higher time frame, we've been seeing that out of them 30, I think we sent out to ourselves like 30 something trades. Out of them, I think about 28 of them, 27 of them hit take profit. So what we can start to see is a lot more morning sessions. So those of you who are waking up a little bit late and you're seeing the trades have already gone, we're going to typically see the trades get sent out between 6 and 8 a.m. UK time. So again, if you get up a little bit late, you might miss a few, but we are also back on the copier now. So this week on the copier, we've done 3% growth on that this week, just if you were copying on the basic lots. That's not if you're over leveraging. That's not if you're over trading, all of that other good stuff. But this week, we've done 3% on the copier. So anyone who's remained plugged into that, you know, during the last couple of weeks where it's been a little bit rocky, we appreciate you sticking around. But again, that's just something that if I were you guys, and again, this isn't financial advice, so let me rephrase that to me, I would set and forget that. I would plug that in, turn it off, and let it do its thing. I would let it just go, delete the app and let it go. And get used to just placing the manual trades so that you can have the emotion and everything like that, you know, that comes with it. So I appreciate you all jumping in here right now. I appreciate the other 16 of you that went and liked this post, because what this is going to do, and again, with me doing more YouTube content, it's going to allow us to get more growth and a lot more kind of area in this space. On tonight's call, I am going to go through the chart. So I'm going to jump on and do a screen share right now, but I'm going to go through the play-by-play of exactly how you could have taken this trade as well. So I'm just going to jump into a screen share really, really quickly, and I want you to let me know in the chat whether you can see my chart or not. So I'm going to go onto here right now. You should be able to. So I want you to let me know in the chat. Put a 1, put a yes, put a thank you. I can see it. You should be able to see my chat, and you should be able to see my charts. Okay, perfect. So let me dive into this. So what we're looking at here is obviously gold. That's the only currency pair that we typically trade. But what you're going to see here is when it comes to trading, I am a very, very structured trader. So I look for resistance, I look for support, and what I want to see is the trade, what it's doing. I want to see which areas it's respecting, and I want to see which areas it's not. So when we go onto the charts, that's the first thing that you guys can do. Download TradingView, get yourselves this account set up, and get to a point where, you know, you're comfortable doing this on your own. Because if we look at today's trade, right, we'll go to gold. So I've rewinded this. So if we just go and we delete all of this off, right, and we look at exactly what you guys could have done to take these trades, okay? So if we look at, we're looking for a level of what I class as resistance. So for me, I look on the lower and the higher time frames. So if we look on the higher time frames, we can see here, these are the key zones that gold has typically played off just from here, right? If we zoom out a little bit more, we'd be able to see all along here. And we'd also be able to see these levels here, okay? So if we were just doing this from a very, very quick analysis, we can see where the market bounces from, where it breaks, retests, goes above, does it again, breaks, retests, goes up. And break and retest just simply means that the chart goes up, comes back down, and then goes, right? That's all we're looking for when it comes to this. Very, very simple, because a lot of people like to overcomplicate trading. They like to think that it's super hard. And again, start off on the top time frame. So if you see my time frames at the top here, I've got 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, daily, weekly, monthly. Monthly, you don't really need. Weekly, we don't really need. Daily, we don't really need. From our perspective anyway, 4 hours, 2 hours, we do. So what you can actually do is come into this and see where the trades typically respect. So we can see this area here, respected. We can then see here, respected. We can then see break, retest, go, break, retest, go. So if we just delete all of this off on here on this time frame, we can start to see that. Drop a 1 in the chat if that's making sense, so you can see, basic structure. As we drop down on timeframes, okay, I can see that popping in. That's great to see. Ones, yep, understand, appreciate that. Again, anything that you guys don't understand, if you're a little bit to a point where that doesn't make sense to me, let me know. Because I'd rather you guys ask the questions when it comes into this. So if we see here, this area here is a point where the market struggled to break through. It eventually did, came back in, broke, came back in, and we've seen that again here. So all I'm going to do personally is highlight these areas as potential zones that gold could play between. So if we see it could do this, it could do this, it could do this, it could do this. So we're going to look for the next possible play when it comes to this trade. So when we look down on a smaller time frame, because that's typically how you enter a trade, you start off on a larger time frame, and then you look for the bigger plays. So if we look on this 4 hour, what we're looking at is like how you class it here is like highs and lows, highs and lows. So this low here on the 4 hour, if we go to the 1 hour, this is the last previous zone that held. So this is the new low, new high, new low, new high. So then what we're looking for is if this zone here, right, if this candle broke all the way through it and closed, we'd be looking for the trade to come back up and re-enter, okay? That is exactly what we'd be looking for when it comes to this trade. So we will be looking, if the trade continued to the downside, broke below here, because this is the last significant low. So what I like to do, if we just delete all of this off on here real quick, I like to highlight the last significant low, then the last significant high. And then I can see here, this trade came down, created a new low. So at this point here, all of these blue candles, they haven't created a new high or a new low. So let me just do this real quick, because if the trade had have finished there, right? So we had a new low, a new high, a new low. If this trade had stopped there and then continued to the downside and then done this, right? We would have then structured this as that being the new high. And then this down here, I should have brought my mouse. This down here being the new low. Okay, does that make sense in the chat? Just drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Okay, I can see ones coming in. Yep. So this didn't happen. We had the low here. We had the high here. And if we just play this on a little bit, this is on a 1 hour time frame. So each of these candles are 1 hour. That there is a new high. So now structure goes to here, new high, now a new low. Okay. So now for the trade, if the trade breaks below here, we would then look for it to come back up to go to the downside. Does that make sense? Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Just say makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. Yep. Fantastic. So now we're looking for what happens next. The trade comes all the way down and we think, shit, that could have been a new low. So now what we're looking for is what happens around this zone. We have a strong push away. So if we go back to where we sent out the trade, which was today at 11:30, so here is a key point. We want to see, is this going to go all the way down and create a new low? So if we see here, price pushes up, comes back down. So then what we want to ideally see here on the smaller time frame is a break above this high to potentially come back down and then trigger long positions, because it's still within up, down, up, down. So what you will see when it comes to trading is typically a trade goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves. So then it'll come down to go up, to come down, to go up, to come down. That will have 5 moves, which you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Does that make sense? Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. So you'll get used to seeing the same patterns over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. So now what we want to see is what happens with this trade. Price doesn't break. It breaks the high ever so slightly. Because again, we can go to a 5-minute time frame on this, but we're not gonna. So the price comes in, and at 11:30 UK time, so this is for me, it was 12:30. So around here, price gets triggered and we send out a trade, right? The trade triggers, we're in there. And then within 15 minutes, take profit gets hit. So now this to me shows very, very strong potential buys. All we needed was a break above there, which if you want to get a little bit technical into it, this is where liquidity might have been on a smaller time frame, which just basically means money. So then what I want to see here is potentially, again, smaller time frame trade might come back down, to come back up, to come back down, to come back up, to come back down, to come back up, right? And you get used to just seeing this all the time. So if we play this out, we already know now that the trade is moving in our direction. We've already entered at 23. 27 was take profit 1. So that's 24, 25, 26, 27. That's a 40 pip take profit. For those of you who are playing on smaller accounts, you could have banked that, got out of the market. You could have, got out of there. Again, if this is a little bit confusing to you right now, it's okay. We've got the Skool community there to educate you, to help you grow. If you're new to this might be fugazi. That's why I'm creating the bootcamp. Okay. So we see here, price breaks. Then what do we see? Price comes back a little bit, ever so slightly. On the 5 minutes, we would have seen price come back to then push. We hit take profit 2. And you get used to seeing patterns over and over again when it comes to trading. So you might be thinking, well, Bradley, how if on here, because this was an 80 pip stop loss when we first initially sent out this trade. So 23, 21, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. I think it was maybe a 70 or an 80 pip stop loss. But let's just put it down there. So for that to hit a take profit 4, it's only a 1 to 1.4 if you let that ride the whole way. Okay. So if you understand this here, a 1 to 1.4 in trading isn't that great, because you need to win, pretty much every other trade, which is okay if you've got a good win rate. But if you start over leveraging, you start gambling, you're going to end up getting to a point with this where you ruin your account. So for me personally, when I understand that if this trade on the 1 hour time frame, if it breaks below here, this trade's going all the way down. Gets to a point where it'll start to fill in gaps and stuff like that. So if we understand that and we start to see that, right, okay, if the trade breaks this, then it's going down anyway. So that's where then you can put your stop losses. And again, I'm not going to start telling you guys to do this just yet, but get used to understanding how these patterns work. Because if you were to put your stop loss below the last significant low, before price went up, broke structure, came back down, retested, that trade there becomes a 1 to 4. So that means for every trade that you risk and you get it to take profit 4, you effectively, you can lose 4 trades on the bounce and still be in the profit. This trade ended up going to be a 1.1 to 6, technically. I think my stop loss was a tiny little bit tighter, just underneath there, right? So this ended up being a 1 to 8 for me. So when we understand this, and you guys are doing this over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, you might think, well, Bradley, how would I have known to potentially get in and do other trades? I've got out at take profit 1, I've got out at take profit 2, I've got out at take profit 3. The key with this game is not over trading, right? So if we break this down onto a 5-minute chart and we look, okay, remember how I drew out, and you can see it probably a little bit closer on here. This area was what we class as support. This area here was around 44. Zoom in a bit. There we go. This area here was an area where price was rejecting and doing its dance. Okay. Delete all this off just so we can visually see it. So if you know that if price breaks above what used to be the resistance, which is the ceiling, I always like to think of it like a house. If you think of a house, You know, you're going to have this. That's going to be the brick, but then you're going to have the roof. That's the ceiling. So if the trade breaks this ceiling, you're going to see it come up, come down, and then go, because this now becomes the new level of what we class as support. So if you understand support and resistance in trading, you can make a hell of a lot of money, because what you can see here is a strong, what we call bullish candle. So here, resistance gets hit, comes back down. Resistance gets hit, comes back down. Resistance gets hit, kind of comes back down, but then it breaks it. So here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 minutes goes by where you could have potentially, if you understand this game long enough, you could have entered another buy position there, put your stops below the low, come back onto the higher time frame. Oops, too high. Come back onto the higher time frame, and then it'll allow you to target them next levels of support and resistance. So we've seen there's a level, up here's a level, right? Just there. So this trade could, if it keeps buying, potentially come all the way up here. That's why some of the trades that you see put in, like they've been holding the buy positions for ages. You know, some of them since down here, since like the start of 2024. So you get used to seeing the same thing happening over and over and over and over and over again. So with this trade, there'd have been multiple times that you could have got into the market understanding the basics of support and resistance. Again, like even on the smaller time frames, like here, you could have seen that level there, bounce off, breaks through, retests. You could have bought in again there on a smaller time frame, targets aiming higher. But I'm not saying this to you to start inducing more trades and you guys placing more entries and, you know, bigger lot sizes, all that other good stuff. But I want you guys to get comfortable doing this, because once I break down the chart work and stuff and I start doing these calls a little bit more in depth and I start breaking it down for you guys a hell of a lot more, like this is where you will get to a point with this where you will start to look at it and you'll be like, shit, that makes perfect sense. Because if we look at, and I'm gonna share this today. Someone in a Telegram group, last time I spoke to them properly was in July, right? Great run of profits, win, right? Didn't hear anything from them June, July, August, maybe saw some profit shots coming in. But then a couple of days ago, we had winning trades back to back. They messaged me saying they'd blown their account. And this is where, again, I come back to the psychology, the mindset, everything that comes down to trading, because I can show you that chart work there. I can break that down to the molecular structure of why it works, how to understand it, the support and resistance zones, the EMA lines, how to understand head and shoulder patterns, how to do this, how to get all your what they call confluence in there. But ultimately, none of that matters unless you've got this screwed on. Because if you're emotionally trading, you're emotionally gambling, you're in a position where you're thinking, man, I'm gonna win some big money here. Yes, you can. Like, and again, and Kirsten's just said it there. Some people love to gamble. And you know, I'm a poker player by nature and by heart. I love poker. Like, I'm getting one for the studio, poker table here. I know there's people in this community that are treating this like a gamble, that are looking for the home runs, that are trying to do the meme coin flips. You know, they're trying to get 400, 500, 600% growth. Out of them 8 meme coins that I've done so far, 6 plays in total, 2 are coming. 2 of them have been an absolute flop. I've lost 100% of my money in them. The other 4 have gone on to do 400, 500% growth. So you're not going to have 100% win rate on everything, on every single time, okay? But what's going to happen over time is your appetite for money will start to change. There's some of these coins that I'm in now that are 1,000, 3,000. One of them's done 186,000% growth since I got in. I cashed out at 600%. I could have been a multimillionaire off of one meme coin. But knowing when to get out of it and understanding with this that you can have some serious growth in this, for me, I'm not here for the home runs. Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful. I'm blessed for when them 186,000% come into my life and I'm holding a good bag of it and we all make millions. I'm good with that. But It's not realistic. 96% of people fail in trading, and a lot more people will lose chasing shit coins. I'm telling you that right now. Most of you in here will be chasing money, you'll be chasing the bag, you'll be chasing all of it that comes with it. Your emotion will come behind all of it, and eventually you will end up in a worse place financially. So I showed you that gold trade there that, yes, it caught 340, 350 pips. Yes, you could have layered into that. Yes, you could have added more positions when it broke and retest. Yes, you could have done all of that. But getting to a point where you're happy with the trades, you're happy with making money, you're happy with the growth that you've done, and your account has lived to fight another day. That's all I ever wanted at the beginning of trading. At the end of play, is my account still alive? Right? Because I blew a lot of accounts. I lost a fucking lot of money, right? I was in a position where the accounts were getting blown quicker than I could probably fund them at the time. Like, I was still working a job, I was still in the 9 to 5 grind. I was still working ridiculously hard as a director of a sound and light company, but I didn't enjoy it. I understood with this, if I can learn the skill set, if I can learn how to master this, I can trade any stock, I can trade any currency, I can trade any cryptocurrency, and I can make a hell of a lot of money. And that's where I want you guys to get to. Like, the 60 of us on this call right now, right? There's 60 people sat watching this that want to learn, that want to get better. There's going to be 130, 140 people at the event this weekend. And all I'm saying to people on these calls is just come along and get that little bit better. Just come along and learn. Take one little nugget away from it. And this is the thing where a lot of people, when I look back to the events that I went to, the courses that I've taken, all of the stuff that I've done that's allowed me to make money, to grow, to get to a point where I'm making the amount of money that I am right now, all I took away from every event was one nugget. What could I implement today that will change my life financially, and what will also change my mindset? Some of you are trying to implement 100 things right now, and you're trying to become, the next XYZ, and you're not in that position where you can do it yet. So what ends up happening is you end up chasing the win, chasing the losses. You end up chasing your tail. You enter a trade late. We've all gone through it where the trade's already nearly at take profit 1, take profit 2, and you're itching to get in more trades. You're looking and like, oh God, I'm not in a trade today yet. I'm not doing this yet. And you find yourself placing a trade for the sake of placing a trade. And that's not where we want you to get to be. Like, we want you to get to a point with this where you're not bothered if you're taking a trade. Because trust me, when your account sizes, guys, get bigger, when you're in a position where you're sat with a multiple 6-figure account that you've grown yourself, the emotion and the discipline that you have with trading is insane. I've got a great friend of mine and a guy that I follow heavily on social media, and he looks as happy when he's 100K down as he does when he's 300K up on his trades. He will risk 25, 30% on his trades. He's not asked. Like, he's got money. But again, the discipline that he has when it comes to placing them trades, sets the trades, forgets about it, lets it do its thing. It'll either hit stop loss or it'll hit take profit. As long as he's analyzed it, as long as he's done his due diligence. And that's what you guys need to have that mindset of with this. And once you get to a point where you do what I showed you on there, you can eventually see structure points, the high, the low, the high, the low, the high, the low. Again, if we were to send them out all the time like that, the risk to reward would be absolutely perfect. You guys would be growing your account hand over fist. But sometimes the trade likes to take what we call liquidity. So when you see the trade moving ever so nicely, that is for me like a dangerous sign. I don't want to see perfect flow. I want to see some wicks every now and again. I want to see some breakouts. I want to see some, mad candles flying off like what's happening now on cryptocurrency, because that means that there's money flowing into the market. But what they have to do eventually, maybe not so much on cryptocurrency right now, they have to eventually come back and collect that money. Like I've shown you guys many times and talked about on these trades, it gets to a point where you're like, man, I understand that now. I can start to see that now. I can start to see why trades come back, because you've got to remember that the currency pair that we're trading is gold. So anytime there is war, anytime there is conflict, anytime there is uncertainty in politics, anytime that there is something going on in the world that is not necessarily beneficial or negative for a currency, you will see gold spike. The reason for that is the banks, the governments, the hedge funds know that gold is a safe haven, so that they put their money into it and you see it rise. Go back to pre the C word, 2020, 2021. Look what's happened. Gold has done this because the amount of uncertainty that's happening in this world is insane. The fiat currency is going like this. The dollar is going like this. The Swiss franc is going like this. The euro is going like this. So if we know that, we can make money whether the market's going up or whether the market's going down. Most people don't know that you can make money when it's selling as well as buying. You guys are on the inside. To get access to this type of information, when traders first got started, you had to have liquid. You couldn't start with a £300 to £500, right? You couldn't start with small accounts. You had to be typically trading with a 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 300K account. And then as they slowly open that into the retail market, the likes of me and you were able to get started trading. We're able to place some entries. And you saw people make great money. And that is why trading for me is such an amazing skill set, because you can genuinely take £300 to whatever size account you want in time. And the account of your size of your account right now will be a true reflection of where you are financially and mindset wise. If you're currently bumbling around between a £300 to £500 account and you're struggling to break through that and you don't know why yet, again, I've said it before, it's nothing to do with the trades. It's nothing to do with the win rate. It's to do with how you are with your own account. Because if you kept it at 0.0 whatever, or 0.1 or 1.00, whatever you trade, and you never adjusted your stop losses, you never adjusted your take profits, you never adjusted your order sizes, and you just let the trades do their thing, over the course of a year, you will be significantly up if you stay the course. And this is why I say to you guys that are on this call, be here in 6 months' time. Be here in 12 months' time. Don't be not here in 6 days. Some of you are like flash in the pan kind of people. You're here one day, you're like the wind. You're here today, gone tomorrow, right? So if you can stay the course and you can be in a position in 6 months' time where you've learned, you've grown, you know, your account size has increased. You might not have increased your account size to begin with, but you've grown as a person, you've grown as an individual. Your knowledge, your skill set, your confidence as a trader has increased. What will start to happen is you will start to think, man, I can do this. You'll start getting on Vinted and Depop and selling all the shit that's in your wardrobe. You'll start getting a bit more liquid. You'll stop spending money on bullshit that you don't need anymore. So many of you are walking around with Frappamacca lattes from Starbucks and you haven't got any spare liquid. Like, stop drinking the liquid, right? Like, stop spending 100, 200, 300 pound a month on Starbucks and start putting it into something that can make you money. Live broke for 6 months. When I first got started in this game, I was the definition of a brokey. The money that I had wasn't great. I was eating pot noodles. I was eating them little ramen noodles, whatever they were. I was having like beans on toast because I didn't have this. Every spare bit of money I was doing was going into trading, was going into investment, was going into attending events, was going to bettering myself. Like this Saturday, the event, like, let me know. In fact, there's 58 of you on this call, fluctuating between 58 and 66. All of you watching this right now that have access to a keyboard, I want you to let me know where you're from. And I want you to let me know whether you're attending the event this Saturday. Okay? Let me know. Are you attending? Yes, no? Okay. Okay. Will be all going to plan. Okay. Southwest Wales, unfortunately, I can't. From Kent, not attending. Definitely attending. Okay. So what I would like you to do right now, obviously, if you're in the US right now, I appreciate you watching this. If you're in Jersey right now, I appreciate you watching this. Some of you are leaving at 4 a.m. Some of you are flying in. Some of you are taking longer transport methods to get there. And what I want you to ask yourself is, what is the reason that you're not attending the event? Like, I want you to genuinely ask yourself that. If you feel comfortable, write in the chat why you're not attending. Because there's some of you who aren't attending because of distance, because of travel, because of money, because of this, because of that. I guarantee if I said to you right now that Alex Morton, Bob Proctor, even though he's not here, Jim Rohn, if some of the GOATs were going to be there and you knew you were going to take something away from that was going to make you 7 figures. Let's say I had a meme coin that I was launching at that event and you knew there was 7 figures at that event. There was the possibility for you to walk away from that event, life changed. Would you be there? Of course you fucking would. No amount of money, no amount of excuses, no amount of bullshit that you're going to tell yourself as to why you can't attend that event. People telling me, oh, I live down south. I live here. It's a 5 or 6 hour drive. Great. Set off the day before, bunker into a hotel, a little Airbnb, 60 quid. You're telling me that 60 to 100 pound, maybe 150 pound on travel is going to stop you coming, being around like-minded people and helping you go to that next level. And this is where, for me personally, I truly see who wants it. I've got people rearranging their plans, flying in from different countries, coming up from different cities, getting on the fucking megabus to attend the event because they want to get better. They want to grow. They want to go to that next level. But if you're sat there right now and you're telling me you want to do this, you're paying me what I used to call lip service. You're telling me what you think I want to hear. I'm good. Right? It's you who's wanting to get better. And if you feel personally attacked right now, good. It needs someone to tell you that you need to start like living on what you say. Because if you're giving lip service all the time, you're getting the ticket for free. Like some of you have got the ticket to give you that boost like you're fucking doing something. You're not. I guarantee you'll be in the same position in 12 months' time. Send me your name after this. And I guarantee you, I could guess your bank account to a fucking penny. Maybe not a penny. Very close. Based on how you are, based on how you walk and talk. What you say doesn't match actions. So then you wonder why the results that you're getting are so out of whack. Well, I bought the ticket. Well, I said I was going to go. I attend the lives. I do this. But then the other stuff that you say that you're going to do doesn't match up. And this isn't just about the event, right? This isn't just about the event. This is about everything that you stand for as a human being. Because like when it comes down to integrity, when it comes down to character, when it comes down to your word, I 100% guarantee you, I'm good on that. If I say I'm going to do something, I want to be somewhere, I'm there. I'm supporting you. I've got your back. I'm not giving you lip service to feed my ego, to feel my boost. You know, I'm not doing that. I want you guys to listen to that 100%, because this isn't just about trading. This is how you are in every other area of your life. And I know, because I used to be that guy. I was telling you I'd be somewhere, I wasn't there. I'd go do this, I wasn't there. And I started to really study what the greats were doing, how they acted, how they moved, what they spoke about. So now if I'm going to do something, you best believe I'm all in. So travel, time, flights, whatever it takes for me to be somewhere, if I say I'm going to be there, if I've committed, there's no amount of excuses. Because I guarantee right now, if money is the number one reason you're not coming to the event, you just don't want it hard enough. Because there'll be something in that event that sparks something within you that makes you think, fuck yeah, he's right. I've got to do this. And it might not even be trading. It might be business, lifestyle, relationships, whatever it is. So then you go away from that and you're thinking, man, that's boom, done. But you won't attend because it's going to cost you a little bit of transport. It's going to cost you a hotel stay. It's going to cost you, to get there and back. Yes, it is. That's why I'm not charging for the event. There's a reason I've put on coffees. There's a reason I've put on lunch, so that it costs you, from my perspective, zero. If it costs you a bit of fuel, and you might feel like I'm ranting on this, but it just shows for me being there will transform things. So again, I'm going to kind of park that. But again, if you're not coming, if you said to me no, and you're not coming because of X, Y, Z, write it down. I'm not going to pick on you and be like, oh, so and so said this, and I print screen this, and boom, boom, boom. Again, if you've got family things to commit to, like I know, for example, there's a guy who his little kid is just being picked for professional football. It's his first football game. You best believe I'm telling him to go to that one, because that will do more for the kid than it will for him attending an event, right? Unless you have some family commitment to go to, which is going to genuinely benefit the kid, then you need to be there on that one. If it's other things, I've missed weddings, I've missed events, I've missed my close personal friends' things to be at Bob Proctor events, to go to, the Eric Worre events, to go to networking masterclasses, to meet other like-minded people. So people think, oh, Brad, you're a dickhead because you didn't do this. But now I'm sat there. Most of them people aren't in my life anymore anyway, right? They don't speak to me anymore because I changed. Good. I want to change. Most of you haven't changed in 10, 20, 30 years. That's why you are where you are. So that's why for me, I'm going to start hosting a hell of a lot more of these events. I'm going to start doing them in person a hell of a lot more. I'm going to start hosting events here in Marbella. So then we'll see who wants to come, who wants to top up the tan. I know I did, right? And that's it. Yeah, I have outgrown them, and I wanted to do that. If people haven't told you you've changed recently, you're still sat a little bit stagnant. One of my favorite saying is you're still pissing in the same pond and wondering why everything around you smells of piss, right? It's because you've not got out. You are not a tree. You can get out of the pool. You can leave. You can go do your own thing. You can focus on you. And this might not be for you. Trading might not be your bag. But I tell you what is: mindset, personal development, growth, spirituality, learning about yourself. Trading is 1%. The rest of it is everything else to do with you, who you are as a person, and exactly how you are. So in here, I can see the chat. What I want you guys to do for the next 5-7 minutes, ask me some questions that you personally would like to know, that you would like answers to, that would really help you. And it can be around anything, anything that you truly think would benefit you right now. Yeah. And in fact, I want you guys in the chat to write down, just delete the snow. No snow, no snow. That's going to be perfect. There's going to be no snow. It's going to be a clear day, blue sky. The roads are going to be clear, yada, 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 right? So books that I use on mindset. Will there be another event next year? Oh, okay. Now we're getting into it. So events-wise, I want to do one every couple of months. But what I want to do is one big fuck-off event where we have a during the day networking event, during the day training, if you will. Give you guys a 2 or 3 hour break to go get ready, go get dolled up, glammed up. Then I want to put on evening parties, canapes, champagne on arrival, photography, videography. Make you guys feel how you should when you're in the financial markets, right? That's what I want to do. So I don't know whether that's going to be in the UK or that's going to be in Marbella, but I want to start hosting them annual events where they're big. Books on mindset that I read, Think and Grow Rich, I studied that. Obviously, when it comes down to mindset, it depends on kind of what you want to study a little bit deeper on. I'll put a list of them inside the groups for you, just so you can go away and take on that. But Think and Grow Rich, if you haven't read that yet, for me, that was something that changed my life. Chapter number 8 was all about decision. And making the decision to go all in on something is very, very key when it comes to this. So Think and Grow Rich, chapter 8 is huge. Events, yes. Bumbity boom. What event? There's an event this Saturday in the UK in Leeds. You're more than welcome to come. Rich Dad Poor Dad, also a great book as well. But again, it depends on what you want to study. What kettle shall I get in the? I'm a Rolex kind of guy, so I'd be going for the Rolex, to be fair. But if you've got the liquid to start buying APs, and again, this is another great conversation. Like monetary wise and investment wise, I want to be keeping that liquid and putting it into things. There's a reason I'm not wearing no flash watch. I don't wear, flash clothing. I don't really drive flash cars. That's coming. Like that's within the next 6 to 12 month goal, maybe a little bit sooner. Like now the liquid's there. I've got the investments flowing. But for me, I don't really care about brands. I don't really care about how others perceive me, whether it's a Louis Vuitton or just a really nice Zara top. Like I wear this on a regular basis. For any of you who've watched the content, I pretty much record all of my content in this, right? And I will be doing it in the bootcamp because I feel good in it. My arms feel nice and tight. My shoulders look good when I'm nice and relaxed. So I feel good, look good, smell good. Again, that's all about that. Morning routine is getting better. But what I've started to do, again, this is a great question. So from a routine perspective, I struggle with sleeping. So my girlfriend will tell you this if she's on here right now. I really struggle sleeping. And that's because when I go to sleep, my brain starts talking to itself. If you haven't realized yet that there's a lot of conversations going on, probably 3 conversations going on right now. There's me, there's me and you, and then there's you and you. If you didn't think that's the case, you just went to yourself in your head. No, there's not. There's always multiple things happening. So what I have to start doing on an evening is journaling. I have to write down my thoughts, what I'm going to do, the things that I need to plan for the next day, the calls that I need to do, the events that I need to attend, the meetings that I have to do, the people I have to speak to, all gets written down. Everything that I'm thinking about gets written. And 99% of it, I can't read it. So when you start writing and you start doing scripture and you start understanding journaling, you will start to get to a point where it doesn't feel like you. So then when I do that on a night, I sleep a little bit better. And then first thing on the morning, I'm trying to get into a better routine of doing meditation, doing some fitness, some movement. Of course, I smash a coffee in, but living by the sea, it's definitely helping me. Going down to the sea first thing on the morning, having a little walk on the beach, doing some grounding, doing some earthing, getting into the sea. I really, really enjoy that, to be fair. So that's kind of my morning routine. And when you understand like all of the stuff that's in this, I'm going to do a bit of a section on this actually at the event. Like how you actually are as a person and what you're studying. Like I hate reading. So for me to have audiobooks in, to read at the same time, to do all of that other stuff, like anything that can help me grow, anything that can help me get better, I will start to do. And I'm in the process now of bringing back in my old coffee routines again and doing what I used to do before and parasite cleansing, all that other things that comes with it, because I understand that, I looked at the fight with Mike Tyson, whether you followed this or not, how he is built for a 58-year-old human being, impeccable shape. And I look how I am at 34, coming on 35 in a few weeks. And I look at that and I'm like, man, there's no excuse at all for me feeling and looking how I do in regards to physical shape. So for me, just all that little things every day that can get me that little bit better. Because if we know that walking, can clear us brain, it can make us think clear, it can make us feel a bit better. That's the type of stuff that we'll be doing. Someone's just asked about the boot camp. Again, great question. So I'm going to get the event out of the way this weekend. I've got all of the structure points there ready to go. And I'm also in the process, guys, of building out an app. So the app will be hopefully ready within the next week or so. It'll be downloadable on Android for you Google lovers. And it'll also be available on iPhone as well through the App Store. So again, we can download that. It'll be a great place to have the community. And again, just a great place for you guys to network and bond and do things. I want to start really building a solid community. So when you guys go places, like if you come to Marbella right now and let's say you didn't want to see me, but you want to go to a restaurant that's fully booked, you want to get into a nice villa, you want to do this, you want to do that, I have access to that here. If you want to go to somewhere that I've got the plugs with, I'll introduce you to them. So I want this app to almost be like a little bit of a private concierge for within inside the community. So you guys get access to everything that I'm utilizing, whether it be, meal prep, whether it's cleaners, whether it's people who do your laundry, whether it's people who do your books, your tax, your accounting, whatever it is. Like getting to a point where I can just be a door to help any of you with anything that you want to do, and it'll all be inside one app. But yeah, I'm not going to keep this call too much longer. But again, I appreciate you all jumping on and taking your time out. Today I'm a little bit tired. I'm not going to lie to you. The energy levels today, I've been in meetings most of the day. My eyes are haggard. This light is too bright. And my throat's sore. So just put some love hearts in the chat, please. That's just all I need. I just want some love hearts. I want some love. I want some just like genuine goodness. There we go. Some likes. Just want some subscribers, you know. There we go. Appreciate it. That's all I need. Just some love hearts, some love eyes. Yes, everything. Hit me with it. But yeah, guys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you jumping on, taking the time out. And for those of you who are here, again, after all of these lives, what I want to breed is your top takeaways. And again, it doesn't have to be anything super deep. It doesn't have to be anything like, you know, life changing for you. But what was it that stood out on this 50-minute call? So I get some, for me, I get some incredible feedback on these calls. And I'm super grateful for that. The messages that I receive, I wish I could just box them all up and start to actually put this out there a hell of a lot more. So that's my plan. But what I would love is once this goes live, go on there and start sharing your takeaway. Just one. You know, just one takeaway, what you got out of it, what was value to you, what did you enjoy? And then what I would love out of the 56 of you that are still here, if you, since you got started with us, have had a positive experience or negative, if you feel comfortable having a one-to-one call with me, where we just talk about everything trading related, mindset related, business related, what's helped you since you got started, I want you to reach out to me on Telegram or Instagram, or you can even put it on here on the YouTube and let me know if you would be comfortable us having a 5, 10, 15-minute conversation and just see where it goes, where I record it and potentially use it a little bit later down the line. So if that's something you'd be down for, again, please let me know that. But all of the feedback for this type of stuff really, really helps me actually understand what to talk about on these, because I'll be real. When I come on these calls, I have nothing, right? A lot of people say, Bradley, what's on your phone? Fuck all, right? There is nothing here. I'm not reading anything. There's nothing on my screen. I don't even know why that's there. This was just here for sure, I think, today. But again, like, I want the honest feedback from you guys on what you would want to see within inside the community, because the education is free. The boot camp's going to be free. The events are free. The trading community is free. Everything's there for you. I just want some, don't just need it, but I would love to hear where you think you're struggling, what your top takeaways are. What would you like to hear us talk about on the calls, in the events? What would you like to hear us go through? Because then the more that I can get to a point where I'm hitting every single person, we're off to the races. So guys and girls, I appreciate you all. As soon as I end this, it's going live. There's 53 of you here right now. I want to see all of you liking it. I want to see all of you dropping comments. And if you're not already liking, subscribing, and commenting, go do it. Because again, I'm not asking for anything off any of you. All right? So guys and girls, I appreciate you all. Much love. Have a blessed evening. I will see you all there bright and early on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. The event starts. The doors close. If you are not there, you're not in. Try and get there a little bit earlier. Try and get there on time. Don't be the person who walks in late and says, oh, I slept in, I set off late, all the other bullshit that comes with it. Be there, be on time, be prompt, and let's get Saturday fucking rocking and rolling. I'm super excited for it. My flight's tomorrow at 4 p.m. and I've got a lot of shit planned for the event. So guys and girls, I appreciate you all. Have a blessed evening. Deuces. Bye-bye.